back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman, and obviously we're coming to you, or at least I am, from our downtown studios in Lansing. We're going to go across town here and spend a little time with Bob Trezise, who is the CEO and president of the LEAP, the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. And Bob, it's we don't see each other enough in person anymore, but it's very good to see you on screen anyway.
It's always great to see you, Chris, and talk to your audience about what is still happening in economic development.
Well, and you know, it's funny, just coming out of probably one of the most tumultuous times that we've experienced in quite a while, you've still got some progress to report.
Well, we really do. I mean, Chris, in my 30 years, I hate to admit it, of doing economic development now in the Lansing region seems unbelievable, my beautiful hometown Lansing, but I've never seen a pipeline like we have right now for the state of Michigan, for the Lansing region. And it's almost entirely very large, advanced manufacturing companies and clients, prospects. And I've been pondering why that is out of these tumultuous times. And I think one is the pandemic created breaks in the global supply chains that no one really contemplated before. And that is not acceptable from a profit perspective, I presume, and it's also not acceptable from a community perspective. And then I would add on over the last months and last year that political instability in a global perspective abroad has added to the urgency that I think companies feel to return back home to America, to be frank about it. That chip making bill, for instance, up in Congress right now, it's absolutely imperative that pass and pass quickly. But I think those two factors have taught us that we have to morph and transition and get ahead of the curve. I guess a third thing I'll throw in there, Chris, too, is, I think climate change and the realities of that has really settled in deeply into our culture and the economy. And companies are really realizing that is the future of profit making as well, is green energies, green machines, green inventions. And so you have all those factors coming together. And the top of the pyramid, I think, of those new technologies, those new kind of global companies are realizing that they need to put down major footprints in America. And I'm thankful to tell you that because of Governor Whitmer and Republicans and Democrats leadership and representatives, senators, everybody coming together, that we put the right toolbox in place now where Michigan and the Lansing region can compete for some of these sort of motherships, if you will.
You know, it's interesting because I almost raised my hand when you said we don't know exactly why they're coming here. At one time, when you think about it historically, we were probably the center of world manufacturing when we were turning out more cars for Oldsmobile than anyone else on the planet.
Yeah.
So we
there's no doubt about it. So as you know, Chris, through Team Michigan and Team Lansing, we have landed the new electric battery plant for Ultium, which is General Motors and LG Chem partnership. That's $2.5 billion, 1,700 really good jobs, 2.5 million square foot plant. We have 1 million square foot Amazon plant being built right now. This year, we landed a McKesson state-of-the-art facility, and that is up and running. We were in there for a tour a couple of weeks ago. They're doing incredible. The Glanbia plant, which is a dairy production facility up in St. John's, we landed from Ireland a few years ago, is up and running and just doing incredible. I mean, it's just to your point, the economy is always in a state of change, and those that accept change and plan ahead are going to be the big winners. And I think these are some examples of a new economy.
This kind of brings us to 4.0 manufacturing and how that how the manufacturers are getting steeped in that. I mean, this is pretty innovative stuff.
Yeah, it's really important. that these companies, and it's so interesting from an economic development is about jobs and investment, still very traditional in that respect. But 4.0 manufacturing is about how do we modernize manufacturing as an industry and the plants themselves. And that has a lot to do with technologies that still will require a lot of people to be employed. But of course, I think the key is at different skill set levels, probably. And so the role of K through 12 education, of universities, I think in particular, probably community colleges, and ramping up our societies and in teaching the exceptional opportunities that are there in 4.0 manufacturing is probably really going to be crucial to any successful community doing economic development in the future. But of course, those companies have to have the proper capital to make that kind of new investment as well, which is probably a whole nother set of challenges.
Well, you hit on something that I think is crucial and we all need to be aware of, and that is the educational system and what a big part they play in our future success. So to everybody out there, get involved in your local system if you can. Bob Trezise, always good to see you, my friend, CEO of the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much to you.
We'll be right back on the Michigan Business Beat. I'm Chris Holman on the Michigan Business Network.